Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests here. Welcome to our regular program meeting for Meridian Toastmaster. For those of us who are new or guests, sometimes we refer to ourselves as SoMeridian because we just are so Meridian. We go with the flow. I think the backstory is that we just go with the flow, and that's how we roll in our club. Before I start off the meeting, I like to ask the joke master to come up and add some levity by telling a couple of jokes. Today, I happen to choose that role as well. So here are my jokes. Saw a billboard this morning that said future events. I thought that's a sign of things to come. A friend of mine made the front page of the local paper. He's a printer. I'll do one more. Third one. I accidentally broke my nephew's model rocket. Now I owe him an apology.
That's good.
That's it. That's all I've
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, to continue the meeting, I like to call on some roles that we're going to participate in today, and there are some roles that folks here in the meeting have choose to take. So the first role I like to call on actually is our general evaluator, who's Brandy. Brandy, you are on the line. Can you explain to us your role, please?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. And it looks like we might have an honored guest in the room today. As the general evaluator, it is my role to evaluate the entire meeting from start to finish, give some suggestions on what I thought we can improve, and also let people know what I thought we did well. One of the additional roles of the general evaluator is to give some feedback to the speech evaluators, and if there's anything more they could have done in their evaluation of the speakers. And then I will call up roles, the timer, and the augur Meridian. With that, I will give it back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandy, for explaining the role. Speaking of the other roles, the augur Meridian and timer, I like to call up the augur Meridian, who is Zadi.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. My role as grammarian counter is to introduce the word of the day and encourage its use by speakers, evaluators, and table topics participants. I will note who uses the word of the day correctly or incorrectly. I will listen to word usage and note any awkward misuse or spectacular use of the English language. I will also note words and sounds used as a crutch or pause filler, such as and, well, but, or by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will give my report at the end of the meeting. The word of the day is persevere or perseverance. The definition of that word is steadfast, continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, setbacks, or discouragement. Sample sentence, he persevered in the midst of chaos to get the job done. Thank you.
You.
Thank you, Zadi, for providing us the word of the day and explaining your role. Next, I like to invite and call up on the timer, and the timer is Tori. Tori.
I am. Okay.
Corey. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, no, I was surprised by that. So it's you. I'm not surprised.
Hey, greeting, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest. As timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time that they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denotes specific times remaining. So the table topics speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech terms. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I'll raise the green card. 5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Most of the other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. 7 minutes, I'll raise the red card. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Corey, for explaining your role as a timer. Finally, I'd like to call out on the table topic master role, and that is Rachel.
Are we gonna do just to explain my role?
Yes.
Sure. Oh, sorry, I guess have it. The table topics master will be asking questions. And it's impromptu. It's one of the best ways where we can practice thinking on our feet. And everybody here, the goal for the question is to get to 1 minute, and you have up to 2 minutes to riff on whatever topic we have today. And that will be my role. Back to you.
Great. And that finishes up and wraps up our role introduction. Next, we're going to move into our speech. And we have one speech today, and I will ask the evaluator to invite the speaker up. The evaluator is Justin. Justin, can you please come on to the lectern?
Hi, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, I would like to invite Robin to give her speech today. And her speech is on completion of her high performance leadership project.
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. I finally am coming to completion of an HPL high performance leadership project, which is required for several of my paths. So I have 4 paths going, 0 completed. 2 of those require an HPL at the end. So this is going to complete one of my paths finally. I'm super excited about it. I have attempted on multiple occasions to get one of these high performance leadership projects done, and I would pick a topic, and it would, I'd get together a little group and we'd meet once, and I think then the pandemic happened, and then other things would happen, and I would choose topics, and by myself I am not always the best person at putting together a team. A high performance leadership project is something, by the very nature of it, you have to have a team. You don't get to complete it if you don't successfully put together a team, even if you successfully do a project. So this is something that the project that I used was our extraordinary evaluations workshop. And that came about because Buffy had asked me if there was anything we could do, like as a resource, to get better at evaluating. And that was, quite a while ago. But I knew that Kyle had this speech that he does. I had seen it a couple of times before the pandemic. It's definitely gotten improved because it didn't have the interactive nature that he now has in it. So one of the things about evaluations is that it allows us to constantly improve our delivery. In the event of a full workshop, it's improving his engagement. And for the high performance leadership project, I found Brandy Era Miller was a critical component to this HPL getting completed in a good fashion, because especially since I both live out of town now and I am not at the meetings most of the time, even, whether online or in person. I've had things in conflict most of this year. arranging for the people who would be in the room doing the roles that was required, Brandy was an ideal person to be able to fill that role for me. And that I also chose, so you're in a high performance leadership project, you have a guidance committee and the team that is working to put together the event. And usually they're separate. In this instance, the people that I chose for my guidance committee, Kyle was one of them, and Mikey Miller, our division director, is here, or no, maybe he's an area director. He's been our division director before. And so that I chose two people who also wound up being part of the delivery. There, I said it. So the wound up is something that I have been informed. I have said it like 8 or 10 times in an hour. So I'm trying to use different transitions for sort of things. So I want you to count those. Okay. So in this instance, like that, Kyle knew how he wanted to put together the event, and he knows how to be an organizing person. He guided me a lot. And also in the high performance leadership project, there's something called the 360 evaluation that the guidance committee can evaluate you on all these different aspects of how you did in your leadership skills. And the things that he pointed out that I could use improvement on is he had to keep prompting me, were we going to be meeting on the given Wednesday or Thursday? And was I going to send out a reminder email? Because quite often I wait till the last minute, or I forget, or, and so that was one of the things that I am still working on as growing in my leadership. One of the challenges is I never put together an agenda. And I was late in sending the email reminders out and needing to be prompted. But one of the things that I really like doing is being the person who sees that something needs to be, if our club needs more training in something that I like to do. I have been visiting and dropping in on district leadership meetings for at least probably 6 or 8 years, because I've been area director multiple times. And I have found that going to those meetings, even if I'm not an area director, I get to find out about resources that all of you might want. And so as one of the things that I like about my role as VPE, and why I am better at that than as the president, is because I do go out into the district and find resources that I think all of you are going to want. So from my high performance leadership project, I got to see where I'm good at things and when it would really be good if I find people to fill the roles that I'm not good at. It would have been wonderful if I had somebody who created an agenda for every meeting and, all of those things. It probably in my next high performance leadership project, I will aim for it, but I'm not going to promise. So, in closing, I encourage you, whether or not you have a high performance leadership project in your path as a requirement, because I think most of them now don't have that as it is what are those things called? What are the optional projects called? Electives. They're called electives in your path. They're called electives. Choosing that, especially if you have a regular job you do, could be extremely beneficial if you're wanting to move up in managerial positions and things like that. To have that experience getting trained by mentors who have been through things in Toastmasters can be really helpful. With that, I will hand it back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Robin, for sharing, for doing a speech on your HPL. I think that's what it stands for. And it's great to hear and you talk about your experience. And I actually got an opportunity to be part of that, some of that, and the things that you said. The thing that resonated with me at the end though is recognizing where your strength is and where your weakness is at, and then focusing and going for knowing that what you need to work on, the weakness to improve yourself, which is great. The next, I would like to move on to our table topic, and I'll bring Rachel up for that.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to go right for the questions so we can get to as many people as possible. And Corey, we'll get somebody to time you. I'm really happy you're here today. Come on up here for your question.
Oh, okay. You've been voluntold.
Super impromptu because you don't know. All right. Let's see. You've got 1 minute, up to 2 minutes to riff on a road trip disaster. It's summertime, everybody. We're reminiscing.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Table Topics Master, Rachel, guests, our guests and fellow Toastmasters. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to say it was last winter. My family and I go snowboarding every year. It's been something that's been really important to us for as long as I can remember. I've got two boys that are 11 and 8, and so I've been doing it for a lot of years. Last year, we'd kind of changed our methodology. In the past, we were taking a big camper, and we had a lot of stuff. To keep the story short and concise, I was now driving a Prius with a rooftop, like a rack on the top of it. And so I went from a camper to a Prius with two kids in the back, and I had snowboards. So on top of the Prius, I had a box for snowboarding, like skis and snowboards, and another rack for all the snowboarding gear. And needless to say, I didn't put bungees over the top of the racks or the like bins. And we didn't get but from like Tumwater to just outside of Olympia, and I lost the lid off of at least one of the totes. And so everything that we had for the weekend, like snowboarding helmets, suits, gloves, was strewn. You'd be really shocked how far gear can go at 65 miles an hour. Like I walked that freeway back and forth. So fortunately, I got like 90% of the gear back. The helmets, obviously, they were a loss, but it all worked out. So it was a disaster, but it was interesting. So, moral of the story: make sure you double and triple check your things are tied down. Thank you.
Very relatable.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Nails.
James,
Oh, man.
come on up here for your question. There's no choices here.
It's in the front.
Okay. Summertime, summer barbecues are coming up. Tell us about your signature dish or what you would cook or bring.
Signature dish, thank you. Signature dish for me, for a picnic or some kind of summer event, we make a family dish. Nobody's ever seen it. When people see me make it, get a lot of weird looks, but I win them over in the end. I persevere and win them over. So we call it heavenly hash, and it came from my mother's mother. And take Granny Smith apples and we peel them, we cube them, and we take Nilla wafers, snap them in half or in quarters, however they break up. If you like nuts, you can add pecans or walnuts to it. But then the last ingredient that kind of ties it all together is just Cool Whip.
Oh.
And you throw it all together in a dish, and the minute you put it together, it works. And an hour later, after the Nilla wafers are no longer crunchy, they turned into cake. And it's just a great scoopable snack that the first time I show up, if I show up at a summer barbecue or I take to Thanksgiving quite a bit, I get weird looks. The next year, it's, are you making that thing you made last year? And so that is kind of my signature go-to dish. Thanks.
And I'm hungry. That sounds really good. Kathy, do you want a question?
Sure.
Uh, you're in your car. Okay. How about this? Beach, mountains, or bustling city? What do you prefer?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Beach. I prefer the beach than the bustling city or the mountaintops because I love to look out at the ocean. I love to see the tide, the waves, and I love to feel the sand under my feet. I believe feeling that sand is a grounding process, and that's just a healing process for me. So I could see myself there right now. I literally just came back from Los Angeles and I was with my sister-in-love. I call her sister-in-love instead of sister-in-law. She showed me the rooftop of her brother's place, which we were able to see the sunset. And it was right above Laguna Beach, if you're familiar with that area, which is out near the ocean. So we got to see the sun set, and it looked like at the bottom near the Laguna, there was a beach. So I envisioned myself there, even though I didn't physically go there, seeing the sunset. It was enough to see it and experience it in my mind and on my body. I actually got a tan in that few minutes. So it was great. Beach is the best. That's where I want to be. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Do we at what time?
Yep, so 35.
Oh, great. Brandy, ready for your question?
I am. And the beach with the beach behind me.
Yeah, this is here. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm mixing. I got it all mixed up with the questions. Like, this is a serious philosophical question here, but I think I know what your answer is going to be. Hammock or hiking?
Oh, what was the first one?
Hammock. That you
Hammock.
hammock or hiking?
All right. Great. Well, thank you, Mrs. Table Topics Master and our fellow Toastmasters and our honored guests today. I have to say, it's not really one or the other. They kind of go together. I feel like I can't really enjoy a hammock unless I've gone on a hike, unless I've exhausted myself. And I feel like I can't enjoy a hike unless I'm well rested. So they kind of have to go together. You go on the long hike, and then when you're done with the long hike, you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, preferably if it's a vegan buffet. And you eat all the plant-based foods you can eat until you're just so full. And then you go and you crawl in the hammock and you just relax. And you know that you earned all those calories and all that food because you went on the hike. And the hike was so healthy for you because you used your body and you got all that oxygen and all those good chemicals from the trees. So I think that they really just go together. I think you have to do a hike and you have to do a hammock. And that's the way to do it. Back to you, Mrs. Table Topics Master.
Okay, Zadi. Zadi is next. Come on up here for your question. Put you on the spot. Did you ever have a summer job as a young person?
I did.
You can pick the worst one or the best one.
Thank you. Table topics. I believe the only summer job that I had was in 1980 doing the 1980 census. I was right out of high school, maybe college, that was college. And I went to a meeting, I answered an ad, went to a meeting. They told me what I needed to do. They gave me all the forms. And then they said, go out into these neighborhoods and talk to all these people. I went around to the neighborhoods in this area that they sent me to, which was Ossining, New York. I don't know if you know Ossining, New York, but some of it can be rough. I went into these big apartment buildings, knocking on doors and talking to the people. Some people did not want to talk to me. Some people invited me in, offered me tea. All in all, it was a great experience. Right now, I can't believe that I ever did that. When I think about, this petite young girl at the time going into these really kind of dicey neighborhoods. And I have to say it was a really great experience, which kind of set the tone for a sense of adventure, if you will. Even though it was a little scary, it was a really great experience. Thank you.
Thank you. My summer job was in an ice cream shop. Anybody else? I feel like that's like a common one. Tori, ready for a question?
Sure.
Great. You have a long lost uncle who left you a ton of money.
Fantastic.
And caveat is gotta spend it on vacation. So you have unlimited funds. Tell us where you would go.
Oh, boy. It's difficult to imagine such a scenario,
So great,
but
right?
I have to spend all these funds on vacation. I guess, probably like many people, I would think about going to like get a ticket around the world. So you could just jump from one place to another, and I don't think I'd have much of an itinerary. I think I don't imagine having to work again because the rest of my life now is on vacation. So, yeah, I'd probably just start. I've always wanted to go to Croatia in the springtime with the waterfalls going. And so I think it would be, with that news, it would be time to pull the trigger on that and get my family geared up for a springtime trip to Croatia and then see where we want to go after that. I don't have, I guess, what's the term? The wanderlust. I don't have that necessarily, but but I would like to probably just experience different places and different cultures for that. But I'm not too deep about it. So it just seems, yeah. I mean, that scenario is pretty outlandish, but that's great. So thank you. Good suggestion.
Now you'll be daydreaming about where to. I was just glad you didn't say like Kansas. It's just corn there. Justin, do we have time? Yeah.
37 is my evaluation.
Oh yeah, who else hasn't? Okay. Okay, good. Tell us about your best 4th of July that you've ever had in your whole life. 25? What's the best one you had and why?
That is a great question. Best 4th of July. Those don't get greater than when you're probably 10 years old, because there's still the innocence and the excitement of big fireworks. And who cares if the place burns down, right? I don't worry about that stuff. The bigger, the better. And you get the little sparklers that burn your hand, all that good kind of stuff. And when I was young, a lot of people still smoked. So you borrow somebody's cigarette, you light the thing, run away, hopefully give them a cigarette back. That was pretty common, but those are some good times. Looking forward to that and being able to just enjoy the food, the drinks, go down and get some Cokes and some candy, the big king size candy bars. Tori can relate to me. I've always been a candy guy. So you just go get that stuff. And I don't really care what it does. And you don't have to exercise it off. Those are some of the best days I remember. Being able to just be youthful and innocent and look forward to that stuff. No worries at all. And those are some of the best days when I was younger and had to be going for a bit of
Yeah, I think that's most everybody, and you have to. I'm good. You get more time or no? Should I turn it over?
We only did one evaluation, so you could
Yeah,
probably
you
do
could.
one more.
Do you want to ask our
Would you ask a
guest?
question? No, if you don't feel comfortable, that's okay, but there's a theme going here about summer. Would you like to have a question?
I'm not sure, but I guess I can give it a try.
Yay.
I don't know how I'm gonna do. Thank you.
There's no incorrect way to do it.
Exactly. Okay, so you can answer any questions I just asked the group. If it had something in your, that triggered a memory, or you can just riff on summer activity or memory. So we just try to get everyone up here to speak and speak to about at least a minute, and Corey will hold up if that's possible, if you can riff on something.
Okay.
Great. Okay. It's all yours.
Well, I always have thought summer was the best time. And it was something that you couldn't, I tried going to school before in the summertime, and oh, it made the summer feel as if it was forever coming to come, and then it was barely there if you had to go to school. But before, summer used to be just everything. We would just spend the whole summer. I grew up in Southern California, so swimming was everything. Going to the beach, and when I was 16 and could drive my brother's car, one time my sister, we would have like $1.50 for the whole day. we would take our little tiny transistor radio and go to Newport Beach. It was Newport down there in Southern California, and the whole day long we listened to the top 40 or something like that. I don't remember, just this tiny thing. That was it all day long. And then we'd be able to get a hamburger and a soda, and then we could come back through the Tejon Pass, and I'd still have enough money to get gas to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, some of my best feelings are the feeling of comfort of just laying out in the sunshine all day long and not worrying about, and you'd have sunburn. It was fun to feel the skin afterwards. And that was different times. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, yay, Darlene, extra clapping. You did it, and it was amazing. Your story was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
California, Southern California, sounds like wonderful summers, except for the school part. But all right, well, that's all I have for everybody. I'll turn it back over to our Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Rachel, what wonderful table topics. I had things going through my mind whenever people were sharing about their stories. Snowboarding trip. I got my truck stuck in the parking lot. Enjoying picturing myself in the summertime on a beach, which sounds really amazing. And cooking, which was not good for me. I can't make anything, and then all kinds of money. Wow. I actually thought the same thing. I'm like, traveling, let's just do every country around the world and it never ends. So we're on the same mindset there. And I thought it was great. Table topics that align with what I had thought myself as well. So awesome. And with that, I think I'm gonna transition to our evaluation portion of the speech and call Justin up to evaluate our first speaker.
Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and our guest. Evaluate Robin today using a resource you can find at Toastmasters International. And we did have an evaluation seminar meeting that Kyle gave. He gave some really good advice as well, but his resource isn't on our website, unfortunately. But Robin, you gave a speech on your high performance leadership project, but which incidentally is what Kyle brought and gave us that handout in a different evaluation form than this one that I was referencing. So I'm just going to use a general evaluation resource. And Robin, you did a great job. You came up here, you moved the lectern, you made eye contact, you're dressed very presentable for this, which is really, really good. All that stuff was good. I enjoyed that. And some stuff that, let's see, to work on. So you had a couple of repeats and some structure. I noticed towards the beginning, you were talking about what the high performance leadership project was. And then in the middle, you actually described what a leadership project was, what that meant, more like an add-on. A little bit of the structure would help. And then you did stop your speech in the middle to ask her to give you some feedback on something. Wound up. So that interjected in the middle of it, but maybe do that at the beginning so it didn't interrupt the flow of the speech. Some things to challenge yourself. Repeating words, you had some few repeat words. And I did stuff like that. Few couple spots through there. And then you did move the lectern, which was good, but then you just proceeded to stay in one spot. So, which I get, it's hard with the camera, you're trying to stay here, but for different speeches, you get in the habit of trying to move. And then it seems like we tend to do this, but this is like a block. Like we don't want to go out, so might help, but all of us maybe to move it somewhere else, because I tend to do that. You put it here, and then it's like a wall, if you will. Let's see. And then another thing to challenge yourself, you're doing well in your speech, and then I noticed you asked Kim for something. And that, like what the word was for the
Elective.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe have that in, or just maybe not use it if you have to ask the audience in your speech. But you did great. I think you had a good job. You came up here, you had good intentional hand movements. You were moving your hands well, but they weren't just flailing, so they were intentional, which was really good to see. I also appreciate you acknowledged others that help on your project. You didn't take all the credit. You recognize that Brandy helped you. I appreciated that you described your nature and your natural tendencies and what this project taught you, what it brought you, how you could grow. I also like the lesson in that even though you went through this project, you still have room to grow. So that was an encouragement to me, to maybe the rest of the group, that hey, just go ahead and do it. We all have room to grow. We may not be ready yet to do it, but just go do it. And you may not be ready when you're done with it. You still know you have room to grow. So you encouraged us to do it and also to continue doing it. You acknowledged that you had more to learn, that there was more you can do, and this wasn't the end of like I've arrived at that victory. So I felt that was really good. You did a great job giving your speech with no notes whatsoever. You came up here and you just spoke, you had it memorized. I think you did a great job with all that. Nice job, Robin. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin, for that evaluation. Look at the time. It went by so fast, we didn't have to persevere. So we went all the way to the end. And so speaking to the end, I'm gonna have to call up our general evaluator. And our general evaluator is Brandy. Brandy, can you give us the lowdown, the high down, or just your evaluation, please? Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So I'll be giving the evaluation of the meeting today, and then I will turn it over I will call up our Meridian and our timer. So to start with, we did a great job of starting on time at 12:05, and all the roles were filled. Although I don't know, did we not have the gavel today? Or maybe you gaveled and I just couldn't hear it.
I'll do it louder next time.
Okay. Now you did a really great job today, Kim, as Toastmaster. Your transitions were smooth. There was a good rhythm. You made folks laugh. I really just felt like you didn't even have to think about the flow of the meeting. It just was smooth. And that's, that's when your Toastmaster is doing a good job. You're almost not even aware that they're there. And then next, table topics. The questions were great, Rachel. I loved the questions, and I also loved how you got everybody up to speak who didn't have a additional role today. So that was great. The only thing was it was a little hard to hear you right in the beginning, and then there was another time where it was hard to hear you. It's weird how sometimes our microphone will kind of go in and out, but I really only had trouble hearing you today a couple of times. But again, great job with table topics. Justin, for your evaluation of Robin, I appreciate that you used the website resource on evaluations and you explained to folks. That's really helpful because for folks that are new to giving evaluations, it's good for them to be reminded that there's resources out there. You gave Robin a really thorough evaluation, which is really appreciated. You gave her some stuff in the beginning that you thought she did well, like she didn't use notes. She did a good job of encouraging folks. You also gave her a lot of good information to work on. You talked about her moving the lectern, but even though the lectern was moved, she could still use the space more. Mentioning things like, that she used the word wound up and then wondering and then having trouble remembering what the word electives was a little distracting. And so you mentioned that and talked a little bit about some of the way that she could have structured the speech a little bit better. So it's good that you gave her all that because she is, as we all know, an advanced speaker. So it's good for Robin to have that thorough feedback. But you also gave her a lot of good praise in her evaluation. So great job, Justin. And at this point, I think I might be done with my general evaluation, and it's time for me now to call up, there's my red card, time for me to go ahead and call up my timer since he just gave me the red card. Corey.
Okay. Randy. So great job, everyone, today, guys. There was a lot of stand up here. Read from my notes while I can. So we had 4 speeches. Robin was at 7 minutes, 21 seconds. A lot of table topics today. It was great. I was at 1 minute 51. Thank you very much for taking over for me. James, you were at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Kathy was at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Brandy, 1 minute and 16. Susan, 1 minute 34. Tori, 1 minute 18. Justin, 1 minute 8. Darlene, thank you. Darlene, you were at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Great job for your first one back. Justin, your evaluation was at 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And Brandy, you're at 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Corey, for that good timers report. Now it's time for me to call up Zadi to give our Meridian report. Zadi.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So, Kim, you had one word of the day. You had a couple ands, one and one Corey. Yeah, sorry. You had an a so, a couple an and, a like, and a but. Robin, you did have one wound up, but you told me about it. This is good. You were aware of it. You also had several so's and several ands, 3 a and a but. Rachel, your favorite of the day was You had 3 ands, 1 so, 1 Justin, 4 ands, 2 buts, and 3 so's. James, you had a word of the day. So only 2 people had that. Good. You had 3 ands and 1 but. Kathy had 2 ands. Randy, when you were doing the table topics, you had several ands, like maybe 5 of them, I think. And then you had a You also had a when you were talking about as the general evaluator, but you said it as that. So I didn't count that because I thought that was good segue kind of, that we all knew that kind of thing. You also had a one an and an and a but. Tori, your favorite word today was with about 7 or so. You had one so, one and an and a but. Darlene, would you like yours?
Yes.
You had a but, a so, several ands, an and 2 ahs, and a And I didn't have any of those things.
Thank you, Zadi. That was a very thorough Augramarian report. Was that your first one that you've done? Oh, my daughter's here in Southern California.
Yes,
Very, very well done. And then I just wanted to make a joke. I'm glad I only have one, but sorry. I don't know why I was thinking of that when you said that. Anyways, very well done. And at this time, I will turn it over to our president, our current president, soon to be immediate past president, Robin Lee.
Thank you, Brandy. Well, it's good to be able to serve in my role as, and ending the meeting when I can once in a while. And I think this is maybe our last one. We haven't yet scheduled when our inductions are going to be, but perhaps they will be next week. First, I would like to, I'm sure we have, hear from our guests. What was your name again?
I'm Darlene.
Darlene, how did you enjoy the meeting and where did you hear about us?
It's something I've tried years ago. I tried Toastmasters when I was living in Seattle, and just about 3 or 4 months before I moved to Olympia. So that was exciting to learn to do more than feel not part of the world. Just observing it. So, but, since I've been living in Olympia, sorting out family, and now got to the point where I can work on me again. So,
Okay.
as old as I am, I'm still here. So.
Well, our club is a very friendly, supportive place to learn how to get more comfortable with public speaking. And SoMeridian actually came because when we were doing a contest, one of our guests noticed that our club members who were competing were all in support of each other. So we had 2 people doing the evaluation contest who almost never did an evaluation in under 4 minutes, which would get them disqualified because you go a second over 3 minutes, then you're disqualified in the evaluation contest. And so when they both found out they made their time, they gave each other a high five. And this guest said, that is so Meridian. Like you guys, even in competition, you're supporting each other. So that's where we got the name SoMeridian, because it really speaks to the feeling in our club that we support each other, even no matter what. There are some contests. The reason that judges remain anonymous at a contest is because tires get slashed because people got so upset that they didn't win. And that would never happen.
Well, that's the kind of place I need to be.
So, with that, why don't we go ahead and call for roles for next week? Anybody want to be Toastmaster next week?
I'll try it. I was supposed to a few weeks ago and couldn't make it, so.
Wow.
Oh, you could go ahead and shut off the recording and I'll continue with the asking. Just out of the officers who are here, the incoming officers is